Hey, I'm Christine. I'm one of the owners at Evolve Athletics, and in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can do moving forward when it comes to your fat loss goals, to your health goals, and even to your muscle building goals. So the first tip I'm going to start off with is something that's really sexy, and it's sleep. So obviously it's not that sexy. Most people think it's boring, and I understand why, but the reason why it's so important that you prioritize sleep, especially when it comes to just health, building muscle, and your fat loss goals is for the main reason that you need to have energy leading into your workouts, leading into your day to perform to the best of your ability. Studies show that when you do not get good, adequate quality sleep, which is about 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep, you're more likely to have emotional distress, which is going to cause you to snack on junkier foods that are processed and high in sugar. They're going to make you feel groggy. What's also going to happen is you're going to lack the energy that you need to push through and to have all the fuel necessary and the mental state for your strength training workouts. And on top of that, your appetite-inducing hormones, leptin and ghrelin, become dysregulated. And all this means is, if you've ever noticed that the next day after crappy sleep that you feel hungrier and a larger appetite, it's because of those appetite-inducing hormones. And we all know when it comes to fat loss, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And it becomes really difficult to be in that calorie deficit if you have bigger cravings and a bigger appetite that leads to you eating more calories throughout the day. And we would argue the reason why it's so difficult for people to reach their muscle building goals, their health goals, and their fat loss goals isn't really just the program they're following, but it's because of consistency. A lot of people tend to just go with whatever they're feeling. You feel this, you feel that, and feelings just become king. So if you want to be more in control of your feelings, you need to be mentally and emotionally stable, and you need to have the energy levels to be in control and to dictate how the rest of your day goes. Okay, so let's talk about tip number 2. Tip number 2 is walk and move your body more. Be out in the sunlight. Studies have actually shown that those who struggle with anxiety or stress or depression, well, they're more likely to not feel those symptoms as much when they're out in nature and releasing those endorphins from moving their body more. So that is a great health tip for you if you are someone who has a lot of work stress or relationship stress and you don't want that to interfere with your eating habits or your weight training habits. Well, we need to be in control of our emotions, and doing so means moving your body and doing things that are going to support you in that area. And as far as fat loss goals, I will tell you this. When I used to be an online health coach, one of the first things I would have clients do was not nutrition, was not strength training, but it was actually just walking. I've had online clients lose 8 pounds their first month just from walking. And you're probably asking, well, how does that happen with just walking? And the reason why is because you need to be in a calorie deficit in order to achieve your fat loss goals. If you are not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to see your fat loss goals happen. And walking is the easiest way to burn calories, to move your body, and to have release of endorphins to feel better. All right, so let's talk about tip number 3, and this is going to be strength training. A lot of people think that in order to be healthier or to achieve fat loss that they need to do all of this cardio.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Now, cardio is a tool that you can use for fat loss, and cardio is also something that you can do to improve your cardiovascular health. However, one of our favorite things at our gym to promote is strength training, and that is why we have it with our online classes, group training classes, and as well as our one-on-one clients. And the reason why is because you want to prevent any injuries happening down the road when it comes to your health. You want to have strong joints and strong muscles to support you along your life journey. Now, there are so many other health benefits when it comes to strength training, like improved body image, as well as decrease in mental illnesses like depression and anxiety. And I will tell you for myself that I've overcome those things by becoming more mentally strong and resilient in the gym and realizing I can apply that to everyday life. Now, one of my favorite things about strength training when it comes to fat loss is the fact that you can't build really that much muscle with cardio, but you build muscle when you strength train and you focus on progressive overload, which just means getting stronger over time. And the reason why that is crucial for fat loss is because when you add more muscle to your body is going to have a faster metabolism, which means you are going to be burning more calories at rest. And again, you can't build that muscle in cardio. So if you want to have the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to not just your health goals, but your fat loss goals, Get strong in the gym. Don't go in the gym thinking I want to get skinny. Go into it with the mentality of I want to get strong. I want to push myself today, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I guarantee you, if you push yourself in the gym, we're not asking for a 10 out of 10 workout, but at least a 7 out of 10 where you leave feeling accomplished. You're gonna burn more calories, which is great for fat loss. You're gonna build a muscle, which is gonna improve your metabolism, and you're gonna do all those other wonderful health benefits like with depression and protecting your joints and just being stronger for life. All right, so let's talk about tip number 4, and this tip is gonna be consume more protein and consume more fiber. So this is gonna coin in with your health, your muscle building, and your fat loss goals like it is for this whole video, but the reason we talk so much about protein and fiber is, well, let's first talk about building that muscle for the faster metabolism, leaner body composition, protect your joints, and get stronger. You need to consume more protein in conjunction with a strength training program, because studies have actually shown that when you are strength training but you're not having a high enough protein diet, you're not going to really build muscle at the rate that you could, and you might not really build that much at all. So you need to consume more protein sources when it comes to strength training. Now, another thing when it comes to you being healthy, it might mean that you have these cravings for processed foods or you don't really feel full, which is going to help you with fat loss too. But the reason why protein and fiber is king in your diet is because studies show that all across diets, the reason that a lot of diets work for most people is because it promotes eating more protein and fiber. Now, when you do that, what ends up happening is your satiety hormones are going to help you feel fuller for longer all day long. And that is crucial for fat loss. I mean, imagine feeling hungry all day long because you're not eating enough foods, and the foods that you do eat are junky and high calorie. It's going to be difficult to be in that calorie deficit. Now, when you prioritize lower calorie, higher volume foods like protein and fiber, again, this isn't just going to keep you fuller for longer, but you're not going to be eating as many calories throughout the day. So speaking specifically of protein, the 3 main benefits of protein is it's going to be necessary to build that muscle mass, faster metabolism, great for fat loss. The next thing about it is it does have the highest thermic effect of food compared to other macronutrients, carbs, and fats. It actually has a 25 to 30% thermic effect of food. And all this basically means is your body has to burn more calories throughout the day to digest protein more than any other food. So speaking of a metabolic spike, protein is gonna help you with that. And the next thing when it comes to protein is protein has a satiety effect, keeping you satiated all day long, causing you to not eat as many calories and as much food throughout the day because you just feel fuller more than you usually do. And you need to be in a calorie deficit, not just for your fat loss goals, but studies have actually shown that it's healthier for you too as far as longevity and having a quality life and living longer. And then not to mention when it comes to fiber, there are tons of nutrients and vitamins that fibrous foods provide for our body that our bodies actually need to function at the best of its ability. So with that said, eat more protein and fiber. Okay, 5th one and last one, and it's pretty simple. It's consume an 80-20 diet. You're probably scratching your head thinking, okay, what does that mean? That means throughout the week, 80% of your foods, do your best to stick with whole quality foods. Whole foods just means if it was grown or if it was raised. Grown being plants, vegetables, fruits, seeds. If it was raised, it's an animal. So try to stick to foods at its wholest form 80% of your week. The other 20% of your week means consuming junky foods. Have the brownie, go to McDonald's, have the Chick-fil-A, have the French fries. Now, let's say throughout the week you have 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. I believe if my calculations are correct, I'm not a math person, I believe that's 3 or 4 of your meals is gonna be your junky meals, and all the other ones are your whole foods. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be perfect, right? This means you're just gonna have to evolve into a healthier person, and that doesn't happen by eating bland, boring, diety foods 80% of the week. When you make your whole quality foods, your recipes, they need to be made with love, or else you're just following another diet and it's short term and you're gonna fall off, and you will be like the 80% of dieters who regain all the weight they lost within 6 months. And we don't want that for you. And the reason that happens to dieters, for one reason alone, is because they're following a diet. They don't put effort into their recipes and their whole meals. And the thought of eating salad with only balsamic vinegar and a couple carrots and plain dried chicken breast, like, count me out. I will go to Dunkin' Donuts right now and go binge on all the donuts. And it's typical that people start that when they want to get healthier, But we recommend when it comes to the 80-20 diet, when you make your whole foods, prioritize cooking your foods with love. Have pride for cooking. Get in the kitchen, make that more of a habit, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just start somewhere, and we have tons of recipes and resources for these too. So the 20% of the time you're the junk foods, give yourself grace. Our rule with this, when you do have your treat meals, that means you go out to a restaurant and you get something that's considered high calorie and junky, we recommend having it, but stop eating when you're satisfied, not stuffed. And that is really important because we don't want you tapping into emotional eating behaviors where you binge on everything out of feelings and emotion or how good it is. Like, food is important for fuel. Food is also important to experience life, but food should not be used as a form of gluttony and to tap into that space when we need to make sure we're walking in line with the values that we have for ourselves of being an overall healthy person. And that doesn't mean restricting yourself and following a diet. It means having balance and grace, but also fueling your body with the foods and nutrients that your body craves and needs to function to its best ability for your overall fitness, fat loss, and strength training goals. And I wanted to note really quickly with the 80-20 rule, yes, you can still see fat loss and feel healthy with a couple brownies, donuts, processed foods in your diet, but the thing that most people fail at is learning how to just have foods that are wholesome and healthy majority of the time. And a lot of times when people tap into dieting, they completely get rid of anything junky or processed or considered bad. And I want to remind you, there's no such thing as good or bad foods. There's just foods that are more nutrient dense than others. And those are the foods we want to have more of to feel fuller, to reach our muscle building goals, to reach our health goals, to not feel restricted, and to end up binging on the foods that we never have, which is what most dieters do. They restrict and then they binge, and we don't want you to fall into that. All right, so that is it when it comes to having just 5 basic things to prioritize moving forward when it comes to your health, your fat loss, and your muscle building goals. We guarantee if you do these things, you're gonna feel much better. And also, I did want to note, you don't have to be perfect with these things, but we do recommend trying to make these staples in your overall lifestyle majority of the time, and trying to make these things more habits. That way you feel better and free in everything you do when it comes to evolving into a healthier and fitter person. All right, so that is it. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel when we start uploading more videos like this, as well as exercise form tutorial videos. Make sure you comment down below if you have any questions, and also make sure to stay tuned as I will be uploading more in-depth videos on the topics that we just discussed. See you in the next video.